Fool my cheating soon-to-be ex-wife into thinking I was cheating, then thermonuclear, Chanel, we ghosted, and served her Christmas Day. Part 2. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Fooled my cheating soon-to-be ex-wife into thinking I was cheating, then thermonuclear, Chanel, we ghosted, and served her Christmas Day. Part 2. So we're now in early June, and I've still got the app installed pretty much every night. I'm gathering as much data as I can, seeing their back and forth messages. They're talking like it's a full-blown relationship they're in, sexting, lovey-dovey romantic stuff, nudes. The whole fucking gag. At that point, I had to stop looking at any of it. I was just collecting info and cataloging on my private FPS server. Meanwhile, I start doing things out of the ordinary. I start going out at odd times. I start coming home even late than she does. In her presence, I'm on my phone a lot more than usual. And when she asked, "What are you up to?" I just simply say, "Just stuff," and put my phone away. I'd also changed my login info and everything, so she couldn't access any of my stuff. Mind you, for our entire marriage, would never hid anything from each other. But right around, I'm assuming the start of her affair should change her password and FB, as well as, and her phone stating, she had to because of the security breaches in recent months. Yeah. Really nice cover for hiding outward affair from your husband. Anyway, I'd include Ozzy. And on my plan, as well as a telling me older and only sister and two more of my closest friends, what was going on. These are people I trust with my life, and I swore them to secrecy. For context, Elsie and I have been friends since we were kids. The other of our friends, Joe and Nina, but have known since high school. Make note Nina, she comes into play down the road. July comes and my soon-to-be ex-wife is in a full paranoia mode. She's texting, calling me a lot more frequently now, asking me if I'm calling to be home when she's got home. Why am I coming home while she is? And I'm not. Asking me what I'm up to, the works. I can see the seed planted in her head. The month prior is starting to sprout, especially in her communication with Poss. She's been finding in him her doubt and confusion, telling him that I'm getting cold and distant. The fucking nerve of this woman, emptying interim of these interactions. So with Poss she suggests that maybe they should stop meeting up at our house because she has no idea if they just show up. Confirming that yes, she's had us a fuck what in my home. Thanks, Sue. The US asked her in that specific communication, was she worried about me potentially cheating on her, which actually pissed her off. I can't even begin to describe the level of joy and how many locks I get out of reading the exchange. My cheating wife arguing with her affair partner, over Ev, she's met her husband, and keep it cheating on her. All the fucking irony. Don't bear in mind I'm not hooking up with anyone. When I leave, I'm usually at Oz or Cho's, throwing back some booze, watching fights and spending time with my brothers, or at my big sis, how's he hanging with her and my brother-in-law, who's like an older brother to me. My sis is 52 and her hubby is 58, she had told him about my soon-to-be ex-wife's infidelity, but none of my plan. Could it risk it? Is this a bit of a blabbermouth? Well, fast forward now to October, that's when things seriously picked up. I've been in my Fox affair for 3 months now, and Sue is hyper aware of the fact that I'm actively pulling away from her. It's been so long as today I enacted my plan until the day she confronted me. October 20th, 2020, that I even touched her. No hugs, no kisses, no initiation of intimacy, nothing. Not like she needed it, she was the fucking boss, just at his place or at motels. So that afternoon, she calls me at work, which wasn't rare before all this begun. But, certainly, had it happened in a while, and asked me to come straight home after work, saying she had something important to tell me. I'm not gonna lie to you all. I have believed she was calling to come clean about her infidelity, but she, of course, didn't. Instead, I get home to her asking me was I am happy with her. The fuck nerve. She cites the fact that I've been spending way too much of time away from home. I didn't show her affection anymore, and our sex life has completely died. She tells me she's worried on pushing her away because I was a recent fool of how she treated me. Then once I was rehabbing my knee, and then came the punchline. She fucking asked if I was cheating on her. Fox. I fell out on the floor laughing hysterically, and when I say hysterically, I mean, joke or laughing, gas hysterical, and a surface looked like to her assuming it was me laughing off the notion of being unfaithful, but it was, of course, actually me laughing at a sheer irony of what was happening in front of my eyes. I'm cheering up. Founding on the floor in complete hysterics for a good 2 minutes, before I compose myself enough to answer, I sit up and look her in the eyes. For the first time in months to shake my head, but I don't give her any answer. I stand up, brush myself off, kiss the top of her head and go about settling in for the night. Later that night, as I'm in my office, I decided, you know what? Given the brevity of what happened, I wanted to see what she was telling him. So I fire up the app and sure enough how they were actually texting in real time. He tells Poss, I know he's cheating on me. I asked him tonight, and he literally laughed in my face. He fell on the floor and left for, like, 5 minutes. It wasn't 5 minutes, obviously, doesn't even care how I feel anymore. I don't know how or why, but he's gone. I know I've lost him. This is karma, I know it. The smile I had in my face, a reading that must have resembled the Chester cat Poss attempted to console her, saying that if I cared enough for her, she wouldn't have had come to him, give her what I wasn't giving her, but a tone of her responses told me she was having doubt now. She had the nerve to step out of our marriage because I was unable to fulfill my role as a husband due to the legitimate injury, and kept the affair going for at a point nearly an entire year, but the idea of her losing me into another woman was enough to make her waver. What a fucking weakling. To be continued.